So Mommy Braxton in her wig showed up. Welcome to my channel. This is Joy from She Speaks Too. Today I'm going to be reviewing Braxton Family Values Season 7 Episode 6. I keep looking down because usually I watch the episode twice. First time I watch it, then the second time I watch and take notes. This time I just watched it one time, so I'm a little rusty, but I'm going to try to do my best. So the scene opens up with the girl sitting on the couch, and Tony calls and says that she is going to be having a new chef come over, and they're saying how they enjoy this chef. He's so good, you know, no one can top it. And Tony said, well, she's going to surprise them. And I was watching that episode wishing I had a chef that cooked as good as their chef did, because I'm pretty sure from how those girls eat that that chef was pretty good. So surprise, surprise, the new chef is Mommy Braxton. Mommy Braxton showed up with her wig and she said, look at God. She said, look at God so many times that I thought that she was going to copyright that and make a t-shirt. So they have lunch. Mommy Braxton makes a beautiful lunch. It looks really good. And then Tony shows up all extra in a hazmat suit. So, of course, Tony has lupus, so she has to protect herself, and she has to let you know that she has to protect herself. So she shows up with a mask, hazmat, she's spraying all around, just a little bit extra. And I'm wondering, you invited them to come to LA, put them in a house together, but you don't show up, and it's for your birthday. So this is probably just to get them all together for filming purposes. The only person that was not there was Tamar. And I have to mention, I love Tamar. I like all the sisters. Tracy is becoming my new favorite. But I also really like Tamar. I have to say that the energy with the sisters has been better since she's not been around. I've noticed whenever she's around, you know, there's the low digs where it's like I'm joking and then someone gets really sensitive. They go back and forth until someone gets really sensitive, just like children, and they can't take it and they get mad at each other. And so a lot of that hasn't happened. There seems to be a lot of understanding with the sister since she hasn't been around. So I did notice that, not trying to take a dig at Tamar, it's just something I noticed. And a lot of the extraness that we get from Tamar that sometimes brings a lot to the show. That's my air freshener. It sounds like an animal. My husband got these new air fresheners that go off every once in a while, and I thought it was something in the closet. But anyway, so the extraness is funny, but I guess if I was around it, that was my sister, and that happened a lot, it would be annoying. So everyone is calling their little boo thing, and this is funny. Tawana calls Thirsty Sean. Thirsty Sean is in the car by himself, and she's like, where are my kids? Well, I mean, Tawanda, they're not filming, so Thirsty Sean doesn't have a reason to be around your kids. There's no cameras. He's here for the cameras. So Thirsty Sean said he is on his way to get some food. The kids are at home doing their schoolwork. He's on a break. He's taking a break from watching your kids. That's what you get for leaving your kids with your boyfriend. Not your fiance, not your husband, but your boyfriend. I'm sorry. So Tracy sits down to talk to Trina about her relationship with her mother. She said that she feels insulted. She wants her mother to recognize her as a woman. She has a therapist. Oh, no, she talks to her therapist first. She talks to her therapist, and she tells her therapist all these things. She feels insulted. She wants her mother to recognize her as a woman. The therapist says, you know, how are you going to word this? And, you know, they kind of talk it through. One thing the therapist did say was, when they got off the phone, she said, have a great rest of your trip. And that meant, don't call me again. You paid for one session while you are on your staycation with your sisters. You didn't pay for two. So have a great rest of your trip. Don't bother me, Tracy. So anyway, Tracy sits down with Trina, and Trina is very compassionate. Trina is probably the most compassionate of the sisters to Tracy. And Tracy says that she wants to be treated as an individual. She said a lot of times that they're all lumped together and treated the same, and she doesn't want to do that. And she said her and her mother's relationship has been fractured since the divorce, and her mother does not come to Maryland because of her ex-husband. So you have a daughter who's married, who has a son, who has a grandchild now, and you don't visit them because of your ex-husband. How much power can Daddy Braxton still have over you? The divorce has been 20 plus years, and you can't go back to Maryland because of him. And so because of that, Tracy feels like her mother held that against her because she stayed and she was close to her dad. I just, if Miss Braxton, as a Christian, it's foul. Her behavior is foul, because at some point forgiveness is for you and not the other person. So I noticed that. So what I noticed when she's talking to Trina is very compassionate. Trina says Tracy deserves to have her voice heard. And I noticed that Tawanda is always like, yep, Tracy, I'm proud of you. That's great. And those are usually answers someone gives when they have a little bit more to say, but they don't want to rock the boat. Is that how you feel? Oh, okay, Joy. Well, I'm glad that you're able to work that out. And so those are not the answers that you want when you're pouring your heart out to your sister. Something just tells me that Tawana, her hands are dirty, but she's trying to keep them as clean as possible through this whole thing with Tracy. But I feel like Trina has been the compassionate sister. Trina has almost taken the role of a bigger sister. She's listening to Tracy. She's validating her. She's letting her know that things have been unfair to Tracy. So something about Tawana, and I remember they used to call her the secret squirrel. Something about her is secret squirrel sneaky. So that's just my opinion. So anyway, Tracy says that she wants to be treated as a grown-up, and she said her mother cannot act like one of the girls. 1 minute be down with them, the next minute think that she's going to chastise them. They are grown up, they're grown women, and they need to be treated as individuals. I agree with you, Tracy. I'm loving this therapy that you're getting. So Tracy sits down with Mommy Braxton and Mommy Braxton's wig, and Tracy tells her mom she wants to be valued, she wants to be respected, and her mom said that, you know, she had 6 kids. I think that's what she said, and that she didn't say that she was wrong. She didn't say that I wronged you. I'm sorry, but she did say that she had missed the boat a couple of times, and you know, and she told Tracy that I love you, I do value you, and you know, Tracy teared up. Mommy Braxton started tearing up, but I still thought that this conversation was a little bit too superficial and surface for my liking. I think that there have been a lot of things done to Tracy that she doesn't mention, because like Trina said earlier, they do have this reverence and fear of their mother and their father for their parents, and so they don't usually speak their truth. And so I don't think Tracy got as down and as deep as she could have, but this is a positive step in the right direction. I do. And then of course Mommy Braxton said, look at God. So I mean, I think that's her new catchphrase. She will be wearing a t-shirt. Daddy Braxton is going to have an album. Mommy Braxton is going to have a t-shirt line. It's going to say, look at God. So anyway, so what? Oh, so then they have a Queen's birthday party. They dress up as like Mary Antoinette, Queen Elizabeth, Cleopatra. Of course, Tony shows up in her hazmat suit again, being very extra. And then they talk about the fact that they bring up that Tamar isn't there. And then in her confessional, Tony says, yeah, I just wish that Tamar could have been here. You know, the sisters could have been together. Well, why aren't they all together? I mean, I stop. Either talk about it, or don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Talk about it. Like, get into it. So, and I think that Tony and then Tracy made some headway with all these, talking to Trina, talking to Mommy Braxton. Why hasn't Tony pulled Tracy aside and said, what is it? What have I done? How have I contributed to the feelings that you have? Tony just wants to show up, film, have a good time, and go back to the studio and put on that breathe again mask and call it a day. She's not here for the real work. She's not. So I think that, and I wrote down here on my notes, she's missing the point. So this was a quick little review Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There wasn't very much drama, which is a good thing because these are real people. They don't always have to have arguments and fights. We might as well call it the Tracy Braxton Heal Your Life show because Tracy is moving in the right direction. This show is all about Tracy's healing at this point, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So this is Joy from She Speaks Too. I will see you next week for Braxton Family Values. Thank you.